And pull up my notes. Whoa!
The recording has begun.
Oh my god. Oh no. My notes. Okay.
Your intro notes?
My intro notes. I have to have it written down or else I can't do it.
This is your responsibility.
Yes. Alright. This week's podcast is brought to you by Murderous Male Models and Big Palpatine Energy.
This week's podcast is also brought to you by The Time Warp and Jack's Piss.
Oh, okay. I am your host, Madison.
And I'm your other host, Jesse James. It's Christmas time again. And you know what that means? Who cares?
Yep. We had a whole Christmas thing. We did it, and it's done.
Yep.
It's over, and it was good.
I went on a one-day trip to the Oregon coast the weekend before Christmas, and then I was on death watch for an old sick dog for Christmas Eve.
Oh, hell yeah.
All of Christmas. So that was fun. I slept like a new parent. I slept for like 3 hours total, but for an hour at a time when the dog was asleep.
Oh no.
And it's still, over the course of the 24 hours I was there from 6 to 8 the next night.
Mm-hmm.
So just the whole holiday. And it still managed to piss on the floor 4 times, and I think another hidden time.
Is that the aforementioned piss?
That is the piss. There is a lot of it. Dog piss soaks through towels like you wouldn't believe.
Aw,
yeah.
Aw, yeah. One of our dogs is still a puppy, so yeah, we're still dealing with piss-related issues over here. So she's kind of old enough to where it shouldn't be a problem anymore. So she has no excuse, but it sounds like the dog you were babysitting was well into the later years.
Well, I did send you a picture. You can kind of tell.
Yeah, he looks like he's lived a full life.
Yeah. I'm going to put it out on the line in case I'm wrong. It appears that you have done some hair stuff.
Yeah, I continued my tradition of now that I'm home in my old room in high school, my high school room. I hate it. And let's drink a whole bottle of wine and then find my hair scissors and then do this. So I gave myself bangs at around 2:00 in the morning a few days ago. It's not bad. I don't hate it. It's fine.
It's got a decent swoop for 2 a.m.
It's fine. Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm okay with it.
I think it came out good. It goes with the rest of it.
Yeah, thanks. I that's what I look for in my hairstyles, that it goes with the rest of this whole
cohesive
shit. Yeah, so I'm glad it looks good. I'm kind of at the point with my hair where I genuinely don't really care anymore what happens to it, because I've dyed it all the colors and now it's pretty much dead. So
I am at the point with my hair where I find it somewhat comforting but mostly antagonistic.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my time with my hair is deciding if I care that day or not. Usually the answer is no. But if I say go do something at night with people, now the only way for me to be comfortable is to put product in it with extremely tight hold the night before, and then basically have a shell for hair during the night. And that my hair curls so shittily but like strongly over time that
Mm-hmm.
by the time I am doing something the next day, I can comb the shell part of it out and it becomes an actual shape, as opposed to just becoming a weird like expressionist piece that I can't really do anything with.
Like a hard hat, but it's hair.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I used to have a similar approach. I used to use a lot of mousse and stuff, but I don't anymore. I for a while I just was like, fuck you, curl. So
Yeah.
I just ruined it, and now I'm trying to like get it to come back, and it looks like it's been hurt a lot. So it's
Hey,
it's
uh,
taking its time.
your hair has lived much like that dog, and it doesn't piss
Yeah.
anymore, so that's great. Uh, I my curl is neither good nor bad. It is a wild card.
It's a
And if
chaotic neutral curl.
yeah, if I let the whole of my hair grow out without cutting a piece of it, um, the top will grow like together, and the sides will grow together, and it will slowly become cartoon hair. Uh,
The
and that's not uh, for anybody, and it's
uh
just a problem.
the hairstyle you're describing, I'm picturing it as like I might be getting the name wrong, but the Cynthia doll from the Rugrats that just has this and then this. I think
What
that's it.
your description seems apt. Yeah. Also, my hair is like
Yeah, there you
the
go.
yep, perfect. Yeah, the doll.
Yeah.
Um, my hair also is both uh the hair itself is extremely thin.
Hmm.
Like if you were to grab two sides of it and pull on a single strand, it wouldn't take that much to break it.
Hmm.
Uh, but it is like still voluminous, so it almost acts like baby hair, where like if it starts to get a cowlick or something, it'll just go with it as much as possible.
Okay.
It fucking sucks unless your whole deal is looking like you have a weird wig on, which oftentimes I just do anyway.
Yeah.
So we kind of run the two sides of a weird hair gallery.
Yeah. I think we do kind of run the gamut of curly hair problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no straight hair here.
No, not a one.
No straights allowed.
Nope.
Speaking of no straights allowed, I did go to Rocky Horror Live last night for their
Oh,
Christmas
yay.
special.
How was
Uh,
it?
it was good, and I took somebody along who had never seen it, uh, the movie or the live show. So uh, gauging their reaction was funny.
Yeah.
And then the group that did it did a pretty good job. They're like one of the only groups that does it in Seattle, I guess. Um, but the people who were at the Central Cinema where I was uh, didn't know basically any of the things that you do at the live show except for like me, and I don't like yelling that much. And then like and then like there had to be like four people in the audience of like maybe 100 people. It's a pretty small place that did know what they were doing, but like it was mostly the cast that was handling it.
Mhm.
Um, like I think it was luck, but when they did the card throwing towards the end with Frankenfurter's like song speech stuff, one person had playing cards that they threw, and they happened to be sitting like three people over from where they had moved to in the crowd for the participation stuff. So like that worked out, but at the beginning, when you throw confetti for the wedding, I threw confetti up in the air and looked around, and no one else had. I was like, oh, okay. It's a real exercise in how much you can feel like a dipshit or not in a crowd.
Yeah.
I
It's
also brought
fun.
newspaper, but like nobody had to use the newspaper because nobody had squirt guns to spray into the air, so that never really came into play. You know.
You know. Yeah.
Also, over half of the audience went on stage as virgins at the beginning, which is usually like 5 or 6 people or a bunch of people who cowered out. Person I was with threatened bodily harm if I outed them. So they got to skip it, but we did get some good orgasm noises from some of them at the beginning. That's always nice.
Yeah.
They did a little singing. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
It's been a while since I've gone to see it at all, like crowd participation or otherwise, and those songs still hold up pretty well. Which is we should probably at least mention Cats, because happy holidays, Cats is out.
No.
I'm so much more excited now that I've seen that the critic ratings on Rotten Tomatoes are like 15%. That's like perfect. They also have to go in, or have to, they are voluntarily paying more money to patch new computer work into the final movie after release. Yeah, apparently the studios is trying to fix some things that are so bad that people are like, I guess gonna have a major problem with it.
Oh,
Maybe they're putting dicks on all the cats. That would be a good idea.
That would be an improvement.
But I'm my hope, like the dream of Cats, is that it's so bad that it becomes another Rocky Horror, because right now I could see it. Like Rocky Horror has a message though. I think the Cats option is more like The Room, where people would be like spraying milk or something awful.
Yeah.
But I'd still be down for it. I would love to see it. Love to see it happen.
Love that. I haven't seen it because it looks like pure nightmare fuel.
I'm getting a call during the podcast, so in the spirit of professionalism, I'm just going to answer it.
Okay, good.
Hello? Oh, I'm getting a call about seeing Cats. One moment, please.
Oh.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Well, Madison said the answer is yes. Who's going? Okay. Okay, well, maybe get a hold of Natalie and Carrie just to see. And Madison, can you make it here by 9:30?
Yeah. I'm getting in the car right now.
Okay, I can imagine it, but it's not, super feasible. Anyway, I guess I'll do that. I can't really say no. Excellent. Okay. Goodbye. Well,
I think that's exactly how I want that to go.
That answers that question.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna find a way to view Cats before the next podcast so that we have some.
You have a week
to make it happen. Dear God.
That's exciting. That's big news.
That's huge.
God, it just looks like the worst. The top billed person that I've seen on most of the lists that I look at are James Corden, a non-actor in this movie. And I
Rebel
don't,
Wilson, who's the.
yeah,
Oh wait, isn't Taylor Swift in it too?
yeah, and Idris Elba
Oh
and
yeah.
Ian McKellen
What?
and
Ow.
Judi Dench. These people are all in this movie, and it's a train wreck. The main character is played by a ballet lady. It's like she might have done acting before, but that should be the top billing, you would think.
Yeah. Well, um, yeah.
do
It's.
you have do you have anyone you want to call so we can hear half of a phone conversation?
No, I don't. I don't actually have anyone to call. Maybe I should call Evan and tell him that we're going to see Cats, and
Give
he
him the
has.
ultimatum. I can't imagine he would want to, based on
No.
general.
Let alone the fact that it's Cats. I don't think he would be up for the experience.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You know, art isn't for everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and try. What the hell are these? Hot chocolate and cranberry sauce together.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Man, I should have brought my Christmas peeps.
You
Had
could grab them.
some peep ASMR. I think I'll do that. I think we need that right now.
All right. Madison's camera moved a lot when she got up. So I'm not gonna say cranberry sauce and hot chocolate go together, but in Jelly Belly form, they're not bad. It's like, I don't know. It's an okay flavor, but it definitely doesn't quite capture either. Let me get a good look at these.
I think they're Christmas trees.
Oh, yep. That is like a cross between a Christmas tree and Slimer.
It looks like they almost are the shape of a teddy bear. Like a green teddy bear. I don't know if he's making enough noise to do an ASMR with these.
Just get real up on that microphone. Oh, yep. Oh.
Can you hear anything?
Somebody's feeling something.
My hands are just covered in green sugar now.
Perfect. So, see if you can take a bite with it. Just microphone right next to it. Don't bite through your cord, though. I know it's delicious. Wow, that was sonically devastating to my headphones. Oh.
If it's any consolation, I think it tastes as bad as it sounds.
Wow, that's
Is it still bad?
No, it's fine. I can't hear you chewing, but I could definitely hear that bite. And that's where I think the action is anyway.
I can't wait to listen back to this and just shudder at the sound.
Yeah, if you can make that your text message tone from now on, that would be perfect.
Oh, dear God. Okay. Well, I think I'm fully prepared for the rest of this podcast now that I've sugared up. God, these are nasty. Who eats peeps? It's so gross.
I don't know. I was tricked too. I got those black cat peeps from like 4 or 5 episodes ago. I got extras because I was like, these are probably pretty okay. I tried melting them into stuff. I tried all kinds of things. I'm probably just gonna make them into like horrible s'mores for like have like a weird after New Year's party. I'll just make other people eat them. I'll probably
I think
put
that's
some of
the
these
only solution. Just make a swamp, a sugar swamp.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh. Nasty.
Well, this is the perfect day to go see Cats because I got this incredibly good shirt on for it.
What is that from?
It's a Christmas gift.
But
Better,
what is the shirt of? It just says Better Living
9.
90.
It's not of anything.
Oh, look, I like it a lot then.
It is much like that shirt I have from last time that just says hustle on it.
I love a good uplifting with no context shirt.
Yep.
I like that.
I like that your current shirt looks like you're half turned into a teddy bear.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
that's
it is
appropriate.
kind of it's like the velvet sort of I think they call it velour or I don't know
Ah,
what that is. Yeah, I have about 3 sweaters in this material and I really like it.
it seems like it'd be a pain in the ass if you were eating just tons of hot dogs, but other than that, you're probably good.
Yeah, it's mostly okay. I haven't had too many hot dogs in this, so
You haven't
yeah.
thrown mustard at your own face while wearing that.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'll
I
have to get
mean,
it on the books.
some of us know how to party. Uh, looking at the notes from last episode, where at the top it says "talk about gnocchi," and at the bottom it says "talked about porno."
That pretty
uh,
much sums up that one.
uh, I don't have any more porno talk, but I will say having to deal with old dogs is also very repellent.
Okay.
Uh,
Wasn't
and
sure where that segue was going.
oh yeah, no, there's not really a segue there. It's just I I like dogs, but I think I like other people's dogs to be other people's dogs.
Yeah.
Um, they also had a cat where I was like sitting for animals, and just the juxtaposition of, oh, here's this thing that's basically self-sufficient that you just kind of throw food at twice a day,
Uh-huh.
and here's this other thing that needs minute by minute like you to do something. Though to be fair, this dog is also blind and deaf.
Wow. That's a
So
lot.
it basically would spend its time when it was not napping, walking until it walked into something, and then turning like a Roomba and walking until it walked into something again. So
Uh-huh.
pretty different
Um,
experience.
yeah, it's significantly different. Speaking of cats, I'm sending you some very good cat holiday photos. These are of my cat. His name is Spicy. He's
Okay.
really old.
I
I
have
just
I've heard tale of Spicy, but I have not seen much of Spicy.
he's real good and these pictures are very wholesome and make me feel good.
Oh,
He's been
oh, you could tell by the fur on Spicy that Spicy's got some years on him.
yeah, I don't know what's happening, but he's got some sort of like dreadlock situation happening on his ass.
So the reason why that usually happens is because cats, when they get older or more sedentary, stop cleaning as well. So it
Hmm.
literally is just like they have
Dead
second
skin.
that, or even more, they just have like that second day, like no hair care kind of look. Um,
His
yeah.
whole body is second day hair.
Though this
um
picture of this cat face down in front of a Christmas tree, but facing the camera where it looks like it's trying to play a murder victim in a movie or something is pretty excellent.
he's started this new thing where he falls asleep flat on his face like Garfield does in the comic and it's pretty good. But yeah, he's good. He's a good cat. The fireplace, as you can tell, that's his favorite spot to sit. He also sleeps under the tree.
Is this shot of the close up based on where that leg is? Are you curled completely around the cat there?
Um, that is my right foot. So I think I'm just laying down, but yeah,
Okay.
essentially, yeah.
It's a confusing geometry to that
Yeah,
photo.
it is. I think I was trying to get his face, but yeah, I was laying down.
So, kind of on the same topic, in the realm of anybody caring about anything we do in the future,
Hmm.
uh, what did you end up actually doing for Christmas or for your holiday experience in general?
Holiday experience. Well, so my family is historically, um, I want to say, fuck, what's the word? Not Chris- Christmassy.
Okay.
We're like, I don't know, we're not like anti-Christmas, but we just generally don't care that much. So we put our tree up, I think, on Christmas Eve.
Nice.
and and I part of the reason being that I'm not at home and my brother just also doesn't care, and so there's my mom didn't see any reason to put it up yet. But so we put the tree up on Christmas Eve. Um, Other than that, on Christmas Day we did like presents, um, and then we played Settlers of Catan for a long, long time.
Were you my favorite position of sheep owning slumlord?
No, I was the Wheat King.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was hustling some wheat. I was moving some wheat, but then I lost like terribly. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, so it was a lot of fun. I got a compost bin for Christmas, which is what I asked for, so that's really awesome.
I would like a lot of people to get compost bins for Christmas,
Yeah,
if at all
it's
possible.
cool. It just yeah, just a nice little it's a small one just to go like under the sink 'cause we're living in an apartment. So I'm gonna see how that works and hopefully it doesn't stink too much.
Uh,
And I don't know where to put the compost yet, but I think I'll figure that out later. Well,
if you have enough space, you can put your compost bin in the freezer, and it'll keep it from
oh,
attracting bugs. But
yeah.
not everybody has space for that, so.
Yeah, I think it might be a little too tall for mine, but um yeah, I'm excited for that. And got some other stuff, but I think that's probably the one I'm most excited about.
Yeah. I I only really get actual like gifts from a handful of people, and the only person who sends me like wrapped things is my biological mom.
Hmm.
Uh, and it's usually like a box full of stocking stuffers. Uh,
Yeah.
but they do generally know that I like weird shit. I'm gonna grab this thing real quick. I want you to describe it to people.
Okay, good. And while Jesse is gone, I will indulge in a little more mallow ASMR. Ugh, it's so bad. I hate it. Oh my god. Really terrible. I don't know why anyone eats these. Like, where's the chocolate? Where's anything? I
Oh,
did some ASMR to pass the time.
yeah. So here's this. Uh, I don't I don't have the right kind of cell phone to put it on the charm
Oh,
section
it's a
of,
charm.
but it is a charm that also does this.
Okay, well, for those who can't see this, which is everybody, uh, Jesse is holding up. What is it? Plastic, silicone,
uh,
gummy material, whatever that is.
it's like hard plastic on the
Okay,
inside and like silicone on the outside.
he's got a green bean that is a cell phone charm that you squeeze, and little angry beans come out, and it's really good.
Yeah, they're like attached in there with something, uh, some kind of like silicone strand or something. So you
Hmm.
can squeeze the beans out, but then they pop right back in.
That makes me want to get a flip phone again so I can have cell phone charms.
Cell phone charms are way more interesting to me than iPhones.
Yeah,
They're just people require you to have some kind of smartphone in order to live in society now.
yeah, yep. Which is a fun aspect of being alive. Um, right
But
now.
but we can look at all of the internet we want.
Yay!
I
Yay.
I literally got a call from my grandma in Alaska on like the what it would have been like 4 days ago,
Hmm.
and I picked up the phone to. I don't like phone calls really, but like during the holidays, I assume people will be calling me, uh, so I'm like more prepped for it. I picked up the phone and she sounded weird, and it was like, huh, oh, okay, I guess this is just how the phone sounds today. And about 7, 8 minutes into the call, I looked at my phone to check it, and it had been a FaceTime the whole time. uh, so then I did that for the rest of the call, but it was like the I'm hoping that I at least covered the whole receiver, so she wasn't just getting like a weird profile.
Like the corner of your mouth.
Yeah,
Hello. And she didn't say anything. She just let it happen.
I guess so. Because when I looked, she had been looking at it the whole time. Um, but no, she just acted like it was totally normal, like a grandma would. Uh,
This is just how you are. I like to FaceTime people with just my cheekbone.
but she also mostly called for like some general holiday stuff, and then also to tell me that I needed to get a job at Weta and move to New Zealand.
Where's Weta? What is that? Is that a company?
Yeah, Weta is the company that did like the uh, all the effects pretty much for like the Lord of the Rings movies and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. It started off as like I think a married couple doing like puppeteering, and then Peter Jackson got added in, and they started doing like movie stuff more.
Hmm, that's a
Anyway,
good start.
she just got back from New Zealand recently, so I think that's why. But uh, I don't know. I'm looking at the jobs. I don't know how qualified I am for most of them, but may as well, because you know,
I could see you doing some pretty sick puppeting.
yeah, uh, it would match my general lifestyle pretty well.
Yeah. Well, that's
But
cool.
but that's also like one of the people who works where I work recently had been working doing like prosthetics and sculptures for haunted houses,
Oh, serious. That's really
which
cool.
which seems very similar in a way to some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that place got priced out. That's why they don't work there anymore from Seattle. And so now it's in Boise, where it's cheap.
Ew.
Idaho
Uh,
gets another one.
one more win for good old Idaho.
Idaho sucks.
I don't know why you would say that when it's brought people like me into this world who are so
Uh,
great. Um,
Idaho, Montana's basement.
yeah. Something else happened in Boise recently. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, Boise's fine. It's getting kind of expensive and not a whole lot of like reasonably priced places to live, which is a problem.
Yeah,
Also, they kind of like hate the homeless, but it's fine.
So it's a city.
Yeah, you know.
I I met somebody recently who lives in an apartment building that went up while I was still living in Capitol Hill, but hadn't been priced out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And when those, I don't know what they pay now, but their studio apartments in that building, like 5 or so years ago, were $1,600 a month. Uh, so it's probably more now. And the studio floor plan is like, you've been to my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
It was about half the size of our front room with a bathroom attached for $1,600.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not great.
Yep.
It's not great. When I lived in Kirkland, I was splitting the rent with 3 other people, and that was manageable. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm in Kirkland splitting the rent with somebody who makes much more money than I do, and I think they pay like a couple hundred more than I do each month, which adds up to quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know what would be after this if nothing changes. Probably a dumpster.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. Woo.
We can't do that yet. It's not New Year's yet.
Oh shit. Someone said I went to a restaurant today and someone was like, Happy New Year, and I was like, no.
Fuck you.
It's not though. Also at this restaurant, I didn't order this. I had my friend do it because I wanted something else. She got breakfast poutine, which I've recorded on my potato blog.
Oh, yes. Please pimp your potato blog because I would like that to receive as many looks as possible.
We have 2 followers and it's growing very fast. So the first entry was her breakfast poutine, which we rated a 7 out of 10 because they did not give her sufficient cheese curds, but the fries were good. Anyway, the potato blog is called Botato, but it's called Botatoes, but it's botate.os on
Yep.
Instagram if you're interested. Um, and that's it.
How many
Oh,
follows are you up to? Like 20?
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Or more like a tenth of that. We have 2, but it's we're growing, exponentially every day. So, um, yeah. Check out botate.os for all my potato endeavors.
I'll try to add potato endeavors to that as well when I get a chance.
Yeah, I would appreciate it because I can only potate so much.
Well, and I mentioned this when you sent that to me, but I had just finished an extremely large plate with my dad, who I was visiting, and my cousin, who had been the ride down to visit.
Hmm.
Uh, it was basically a full-size dinner platter covered in like potato onion pancakes.
Hmm.
And the consistency was basically just fancy hash browns that were pressed into a pancake shape,
A
and then
plus.
a whole bowl of applesauce to just throw over it. And I really appreciated the fact that they kept the sour cream in a separate container, so it didn't
Mhm.
just come with it all over it, because I'm really not a soured cream guy. Uh, so that was quite good.
That
And that
sounds really good.
that would have been a very good potatoes addition.
It would have, because I wanna make sure I branch out and it's not just fries. I want to feature many potato dishes.
Is it acceptable? Of course, you'll be vetting them to
Mhm.
send potato-based artworks for this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Uh, I'm fully behind any sort of potato creations.
I think once we have some sort of formalized email, uh, we could really crowdsource some excellent potato work.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that very much. Especially because right now the profile picture is just a stock photo of three potatoes. So if anyone has any better potato photos, um, I would gladly accept them.
I mean, with the voracious appetite people have for potato-based works, that could be different by the time you hear this. You never know.
It probably will be, is my
Hmm.
guess. But yep. So that's my newest thing. It's going great. My
Big
life
money
is very
venture.
my life is great.
My life's perfect.
It's perfect and it's
Yeah,
all I've ever wanted.
you've
What
seen it.
you've seen it. This is all of it. Mhm.
That's my life will be great if Facebook/Instagram gives me back control of my extra weird account.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I'll definitely push that in the future if I can regain control of it.
Yeah, that's a fun time.
There's a lot of horny Garfields that I spent a lot of time on that page, and I met and had a chance to network with some other Garfield-based artists
Oh good.
around Seattle, and I had to tell them with shame that my horny Garfields were not really under my control currently because a tech company has taken them from me.
Is that the inappropriate content that they're trying really hard to get off the platform?
The inappropriate content is ridiculous.
Not the racists or the people doing death threats. It's the horny Garfields of the world that we need to
Yeah.
abolish.
Oh, what's this? Ugandan knuckles? More of that, please. Oh, what's this? A drawn picture of a Muppet that's spread eagle for some reason? Get that off my
Get it
internet.
away.
Get it off.
uh,
Look,
that's
my art means something.
fine.
Uh, well, I in a completely different note, I do want to go into my family Christmasing a little bit. Uh,
Oh, please.
it's really not Christmasing. It was the first time I visited my parents' place that they moved into like 3 years ago, though. So there's that. Um, but I beat that Star Wars Fallen Order game,
Hell yeah.
and
Was it
I'm here to report that the game's pretty good. It's definitely worth the actual playing of it, and is the story is good, but the how to explain it? The the idea of the story is good, but it seems like they were very clearly rushed, and the plot points of the second half are the plot points of a studio that was told this has to be a game now. Um, you meet a person with a differing opinion from the rest of your crew that ends up being a very like important opinion, and I met that character about or like added that character to like the voices in my team about 20 minutes before like I started into the end of the game.
Hmm.
So like had no time to actually be important.
Huh.
And it was maybe one of the most important ideas in that game, having to do with like, if you believe in like destiny almost, is that actually a moral thing to act on, or should you be uh, giving people agency, which I think is an important thing. Like video games with stories are, I think, nice to have around because you can tell stories that are like relevant to actual issues, and that one worked really well for that in the little bit of time that it had to actually talk about it. But it didn't really do much, but there wasn't any part of that game that was bad. That bug that I got was also definitely something that really just shouldn't have happened with a game that was like fully tested.
Yeah.
So hopefully EA, who put that game out, stops being assholes, but they won't. That company will never stop being assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also started Death Stranding, which was a very uh, appropriate game to start while watching that dog, because you literally weaponize your own piss in that game.
Oh, well then yeah, it's perfect.
And it's also, have you ever seen parts of or played a Metal Gear game?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, those games are based around the idea that you can approach what you're trying to do in those games by either being stealthy or trying to like use your weapons to just overpower people.
Mm-hmm.
And then a bunch of other like goofy shit mixed in from the like head writer person. This game surmises, what if you couldn't really sneak and couldn't really fight, and it was all goofy shit? So that game actually speaks to me on a much deeper level than the Metal Gear stuff. Um, Another game in my nerd corner uh, is Watam, that came out on the 20th, uh, the same day that I think Star Wars and Cats came out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Star Wars the movie, the also very terrible sounding movie, um, that I'm
Yeah.
very excited to not buy a ticket to see, but to watch.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I assume that you have some thoughts on it since
I
you
mean,
actually.
yeah, I have some thoughts.
I've already had it fully spoiled. If you're gonna spoil stuff, we should probably warn people.
Yeah.
Um, I love the spoilers of that movie, though. It's fantastic. I've gotten it from several points of view now, and I'm like a Star Wars fan in a sense. I think Star Wars is one of the dumbest things out there, but I like the style of it.
Yeah.
Uh, but yes,
Yeah.
Watam is a game that is playable, I would say, by any age. It's got a lot of the like Japanese all age style of kind of adding in little kid noises to like uh, have things speak and stuff like that. Like it's got a very uh, boo-bah way about it. Um, but I think I sent you a clip from it.
You did, yeah.
Yeah,
It
what was
looks
that clip again?
delightful. Oh, I'd have to rewatch it. I feel like it was it just a recording of the character's mouth moving. I have to find
Okay.
it.
Uh, I want you to look at what that character is
Oh,
embodying a little more.
is it a beehive?
No, keep looking.
Wait, how is this not a beehive? Oh.
All aboard the Dookie train. Uh,
Why is it white? Or like light pink?
They're all different colors. When you can open up the character that is a toilet, you can turn all of those poops into gold.
Oh.
One of the early game uh, like goals that you have is to try and stack golden shit as high as a bowling pin. And once you do, the bowling pin is like, nice job, and then immediately gets murdered by a bowling ball. um,
I
it
like
is it is a very good game from the people, or the guy, I guess, who was the head person on Katamari.
Okay. It looks like a fun game. I like the design.
Yeah, if we figure out some sort of a twitchable thing, that might be a good thing to try out. And as
Yeah.
far as I know, there's no like weird you can't look at this game shit like some other games have. Most of them are Japanese games, but I believe this is also a Japanese game, so
Yeah. It it has that energy to it.
mm-hmm. So speaking of energy, did you want to go into your uh your spoiler town?
Big Palpatine energy.
Uh-huh.
Um uh
So did you see this movie?
yeah, I saw it.
Okay. Uh I had the same person who broke down the entire Harry Potter series to me over the course of a night. Um I had that person give me like an hour breakdown of what happens in that movie after I had already listened to some other sources have like a multi-hour breakdown of it.
Yeah.
The movie can't be better than what I have in my head. Like
It's not.
it's so good up there because it is so bad. I'm practically seeing like a Muppet movie, and I like that very much. Um, so where do you want to start?
Well, I'd be curious, like, what's the general consensus from people that you've talked to, that it's just kind of some hot trash,
That
or
it is the funniest Star Wars movie yet,
yeah,
and it's a very good-looking movie
yeah,
to disguise the fact that it is absolute garbage.
yeah.
That is what I've heard.
So I pretty much 100% agree with that. I I couldn't really form my opinion until much later, just because it's so, like, condensed
Uh-huh.
into there's just like so much going on. And right after we watched that one, like a day later, we watched The Empire Strikes Back, and it was just crazy to watch them kind of like back to back, because there are whole scenes in that one where like almost nothing happens. Like
Yeah,
there's like he's riding the tauntaun, and we're looking on the snow, whatever, and it's just like cool. It's
like
just fine,
like a movie.
like a movie. And there's not I can't think of a single scene in the other one that's just kind of like chill, nice, world building. I don't know, but yeah, I really hate that. You said you've already had all the spoilers
Yeah,
spoiled.
yeah, yeah. I This is our big spoiler warning. Stop
Big
listening
spoiler
here
warning. Don't listen.
uh until I don't know. Just jump ahead by like 10 minutes at a time, and if it's not Star Wars, then you win.
I really hate that Rey is related to Palpatine. I think that ruins everything. I think it's very stupid. I remember, like, so when I watched the movies, I was obviously entertained because it's entertaining and it looks good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is the funniest Star Wars movie yet. Probably not for the reasons that they wanted it to be sometimes, but
Uh-huh.
there are like there's some, nice little light moments, but
So
uh, I forgot
something
what.
I
Just
have
go.
to bring up real quick
Yeah.
is lightsaber nonsense. So, one, apparently they can just transmit lightsabers between each other now. Like, Jedi are just able
So
to make things appear for other
this is
people.
this is why I want to talk about this maybe next week or whenever you get a chance, because you are much more well versed on like canon than I am. And
Garbage.
yeah, but so I didn't even see the second one. So,
Yeah.
and that's fine. That's what blows my mind is like I didn't even need to. It was
Nope.
totally fine. Like you don't have to. It's
Everything
not.
I've heard is that this movie uh, recaps and then says fuck off to the second movie at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, so before I went in to watch it, I kind of like I did a little bit of summarized research of like what the second one was, just so I was kind of up to speed. And yeah, I didn't need to know any of it
yeah.
because what like I don't even remember the first one that well, to be honest. But I mean, they killed off Snoke, so that was done. And then
Well, they killed off a Snoke.
Snoke of one of the jars of Snokes, but
No, one of my Snokes.
and then they so the second one apparently introduced the Rose Tico character who
Yeah,
kissed
who
Finn,
has
and
a
then
huge role in this one.
nothing happens. They introduce another like side character for him to have kind of, or no, sorry, I'm thinking of Poe Dameron. They introduced this other lady that Poe Dameron is supposed to be um have
Banging.
have banged at some point. Uh,
Oh, okay.
she has probably about 2 minutes, or not 2 minutes, like maybe a minute of screen time. She doesn't serve a purpose other than they're
Well,
like,
yeah, she does. She's the no homo for Poe Dameron.
yeah, she's basically just like, hey, he's straight. It's not
It,
gay.
yeah, he
So
definitely didn't give Finn those fuck me eyes when he put his jacket on that one time.
yeah,
That's not a thing.
no. Um, I don't know. I think my greatest disappointment with the movie was just that they made Rey the granddaughter of Palpatine. I mean, just the idea of bringing back Palpatine, I mid movie, as I'm like caught up and actually entertained and haven't really done any critical thinking of the movie, just because there's explosions constantly happening. I remember being like, what, why? Like, I don't understand, and it's just disappointing.
I also heard that he was defeated by the same thing as before, where he just shoots lightning too much.
Kind of. I mean, yeah. I think that's basically what happened. I don't really remember his death scene. Um,
That old fucker really loves lightning. I know that.
yeah, and it's weird. Um, I think this is. Oh, also one thing that really bothered me is that they actually did like a Rey and Kylo Ren kiss in the movie,
Yeah.
which to me really seems like a so many people wrote fan fiction about this that we're gonna make it do.
Well,
Uh,
that's the same as the Chewbacca medal. People
yeah,
have been
I don't
pissed off
care.
about the Chewbacca thing forever, and it's like,
Yeah,
first off, like, sure, but also before the movies made it into like the dark ages of post like the third actual movie, what episode 6, um before it was done with that stuff, Chewbacca was basically a dog. Like nobody gave a
right.
shit about Chewbacca as like a character until they
Hmm.
started introducing like all of the extended universe stuff. And I like Chewbacca. I think he deserves medals, but like that is totally a weird internet thing that just turned into reality as well.
Yeah, I felt like I was. But I I don't I don't understand. Like, even just watching the movie, like I knew that that was coming because I had read that that was going to happen. But they maybe in the second one, this is kind of written into the movie a little bit, but I doubt it. Like, when is their relationship ever romantic or even? I guess it's intense. Like they're in each other's minds or whatever, but it's
Right.
never like sexy. It's
Yeah.
and as they're dying, they're just like now kiss. Like I don't.
Yeah, they made the dolls kiss.
it was it was very like it took me out of that scene completely. I was just like,
Was there like tongue or
okay,
anything though?
no, it wasn't like
Oh, it doesn't count then.
fine, right? Like if they
Yeah.
were like making out, that would be one thing. I would have some more feelings about it, but I I was just kind of like, okay,
Yeah, if it was like I'm gonna be a ghost now, like sure, yeah,
yeah,
that's something.
yes, that's fine. I mean, give Adam Driver something to do because clearly I think and okay, so after I watched this movie, I stayed up all night till like 4 in the morning watching reviews of it because I had to know what everybody else thought.
Yeah,
Um, and kind of the consensus with a lot of people seemed to be that clearly they didn't know where this was going, and it's
yeah,
kind of too bad because all the actors, I really like the cast. I think it's a really good cast, and I think they're good.
yeah. I think they could do a lot with that cast. I think Ray is one of the weaker actors, but I also think that she like embodies the. Honestly, in the second movie, you haven't seen that one, right?
No.
In the second movie, there is a point when you're like prior to the halfway mark where it feels promising, and it seems to be taking this idea of like, what if, like, what, Ray has a lot of like drive to be better, but also like you don't really have an understanding of why because she's like on the island with Luke trying to like learn how to be as
Yeah.
strong as she can be, and then Kylo has like basically bad parents and then bad parents again, and is like seems very not committed to the whole evil thing. And
Hmm.
when they start communicating with each other, there's this feeling of like Kylo is uh, saying like, well, let's just not have parents. Essentially, like let's do our own shit because this is stupid.
Yeah.
And Rey is saying like, no, parents are important. Do it. Just do the right way. And I think that there was a hope for me at least at that point in the movie that either they were gonna pull away from the whole thing and stop being like good or bad, or that they were going to shift the characters and have it be like somebody who is a shitty person can learn to get better, and somebody who is too ambitious can
Hmm.
learn to like follow that path to its logical conclusion. But instead, they bitched out and made it like, no, no, you should always be ambitious. Just like keep going, and the more power you get, the better, and then you'll get a yellow lightsaber. And then like Kylo Ren's thing is like have a lot of misgivings about the shitty things you've been taught, and don't take either side, and just give the whole thing up. Like that kind of stuff is a real message. So of course they didn't do that.
Yeah. None of this is important unless you're related to somebody important because
Yeah.
that's all that matters. Because you can't be just like a nobody from nowhere and like be good at things,
Even though
apparently.
the end of the second movie is some random like street urchin kid sweeping up, and then he uses the force for
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's like the whole idea of the second movie was just thrown in the garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't even
I
like the second movie, and it's still just hearing about what they changed is like the exact wrong stuff. Like all the good ideas are in the garbage can, and all the bad ideas are like, yes, finally we found
yeah,
it.
we did it. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. So like it's my overall thought, I guess, on the movie is like, if you don't look too closely, it's entertaining. Don't think about it too hard. Look at the explosions and watch them kiss, and it's fine.
Now,
And
look at
that's
them
about
keys.
just just watch them kiss. Um, yeah, and like I haven't even mentioned his whole like underground star fleet thing because I think that shit is fucking stupid, and I
So
don't even.
we're past the Dark Moon Rising. You should just give us an in on this underground fleet. I want to hear more about it.
So, okay, no, okay, well, I guess Palpatine's whole thing is that it's confusing. It does not make sense. So he wants to kill Rey, because he doesn't want her to succeed him, but then actually he does want her to succeed him as like the new Sith Empress or something.
Okay.
And uh I'm like I almost forgot. Like, there's like so much uh so where does that actually come into play? Anyway, at the beginning of the movie, he reveals that he's got in his like weird Sith planet area, he's got like these under like an army of thousands of like star destroyer ships that just like raise up out of the ground that he
Of
just
course.
has. They're just there. And what is it? They have to be activated by something? I can't remember. I think it's like he has to get his energy from Ray. I don't remember, honestly. I don't. But he has a giant fleet of star destroyers that he's gonna take over the the universe or the galaxy with. Um, like, why didn't you just use them the first time instead of using them as like your last resort?
Yeah, for
Seems
somebody who
like
loves unlimited power, you'd think he'd just be into like taking those ships out and getting it.
yeah. And then of course in the end battle, it's like, oh, but all of these thousands of ships are controlled by one tiny little satellite thing. So we just have to take that out and then they're all done and it's fine. And it's just like, okay, I guess. But yeah, the
Sounds great.
it seems like it's very clear that I don't think they knew what they were gonna do after the second one, and that they just wanted to they just like, I heard that there was a weird thing that happened with the directors, like Ryan Johnson directed the second one and
Yeah.
JJ Abrams directed the third one, and I think they had some sort of like falling out, and JJ Abrams clearly hated everything that the other guy did.
Well,
uh,
I also heard originally that it was going to be three different directors. Like it
yeah, I think it was supposed to be.
when they first said new Star Wars directed by J.J. Abrams, it was like, okay, he's doing movies. And then when the first one was coming out, there was stuff about how, oh no, actually we're going to have
Okay.
ah
What is that,
uh
eighth unofficial member of the podcast? My mother is going to the store to get dog food.
oh good. I hope it's good dog food. So the word after that was that it was going to be three different directors to like
Mhm.
put their own spin on it, kind of like more like the Star Trek movies were headed towards. And then people were so upset, well, less upset than they are at this movie, but upset at the second movie, so they decided, well, we're just going to bring back J.J. Abrams because everybody liked that movie.
Yeah.
But by the time they said they were bringing back J.J. Abrams, who is a noted terrible like closer for stories already, like everything I've ever heard him say is that I don't like doing and am bad at doing the ending of stories. So bringing him in for literally the end of maybe the biggest movie franchise in history, that's the worst
Maybe
idea
not
ever.
great in hindsight. Yeah.
I heard some rumor that he handed in like the finalized version of this movie to the studio and said, I hate making the endings of things and I'm bad at it. Like, that's not a good way to set this whole
No.
thing up.
I bet he spent a lot of this Christmas very, very drunk. I would not want to be sober about right now
Well,
because everybody's mad about it.
he has unlimited money, so I'm sure that
So he can be unlimitedly drunk. Like,
yeah,
there you
he can
go. It
drink
works.
whatever he wants.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. There were things that I liked, but more things that I didn't like.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the beginning where they pretend to kill off Chewbacca for like 30 seconds.
I've heard about that a lot.
Honestly, it would have been better if they just killed him. Like then like something would have happened
I
because
I love the
nothing
idea.
happens.
I love the idea though of blowing up a whole ship and then going, Chewbacca, no!
I mean, in the moment, it really had me. Like I was tearing up. I was like, "Oh no, she blew it up! And she has the shocky powers, and like, I guess that's foreshadowing." Um, it was really sad, but honestly, I think it would have been better for the story if they killed him off, because then they're like nobody dies. Everybody just like comes back to life because oh yeah, she has like a force healing power.
Of course.
Is that a thing in the extended canon?
So, yeah, and it's a thing that's attributed to the Sith. Uh, like the Sith, for whatever reason, are the ones who can uh, heal people and the ones who can shoot lightning. And then the
Yeah.
Jedi are the ones who can like make force fields, some of them, and also like supposedly the Jedi were the only ones who could become force ghosts for a while at least before
Yeah.
they started changing all the rules of the universe. But um, I always saw that as a like the Sith were claiming they could heal people, and like Jedi can too. Like I think that's just like supposed to start off as like a weird rumor, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but it actually shows some of how even though the 1, 2, and 3 movies, like the prequel trilogy, are objectively terrible. Um, the writing in them being done by Lucas is, well, let's say, passable, and
Mm-hmm.
then the writing for these new ones is terrible. But the original trilogy set has like kind of they obscure a lot of what the Jedi do to make them more interesting. The prequel trilogy sets up a bunch of stuff where the Sith are like talking about how you can like bring people back from the dead and heal people if you follow the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
But it's even in like how Darth Vader becomes a robot, the whole idea I thought was that the Sith talk about doing that because that convinces people to follow them, and that's sort of like a trick that they're playing
Right.
to like make this like dark side stuff seem more palatable to people.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you tell people they can live forever, then they're more likely to do what you say. uh, Changing it now so that actually the Sith can do that actually seems like a total bullshit thing because now they were being honest in the beginning, which is like I don't get it. I don't get if they're trying to be subversive at some point or if it's just no, let's give them weird like messianic powers just because like it's so scattered for like the theming
Mm-hmm.
like
And the
yeah,
is like the talking to each other through the force, like that kind of happens in the original movies a little bit, not anything to
right.
this degree. Like in this movie, they're like passing each other stuff. Like he takes a necklace off of her at one point. Um, There was actually those scenes where they're like force talking to each other, I think are probably my favorite scenes.
Okay.
Um, just be like they were shot really cool. There's one really cool one where they're like he is on this planet trying to find her, and she and her crew like make it up to the Star Destroyer or whatever, and she's in his chambers, and
Uh-huh.
he's got
Smelling
the
his pillows.
yeah, just Ray things. And she's looking at the Vader mask that he's got on a pedestal, and they start force talking to each other and like fighting through the force talking, I guess. And at one point, one of their sabers like breaks the pedestal, and the Vader mask falls through to where he is, and so he realizes that she's on his ship. And
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
that's a cool idea. I like how they like did that. But yeah,
Yeah. It's
other than that, it's like
it sounds like they just stepped up the space magic and kind of said fuck it to the whole like I don't know. It was never scientific, but it at least had rules before.
yeah,
And one of
that's
those
pretty,
rules was you don't get to just teleport wherever you want, whenever you want.
yeah, yeah. And that's my beef with the giant weird Star Destroyer army that lives underground. Like, is that
That's your beef with it?
that's my beef with it. Is it space magic, or did he just have it the whole time? Like, is it manned by people who were just living underground? Like, what? There's just no sort of answers. I don't know. That that part in particular bothers me a lot. Um, what
Yeah,
else?
it
Yeah.
sounds almost psychedelic in how weird a lot of these choices are.
Yeah, they are really really weird. Um, it's kind of a bummer watching them let Ray and Kylo, I guess by the end of it he refers to himself as Ben Solo again. Um, they when they kiss, and like for a second you think, oh yay, now they're gonna live happily ever after, but like he's like a war crimes murderer person. Like he's
Yeah,
killed a lot of people, and I don't know. I mean, he dies, so like they don't have to address anything.
right.
He's just like, I've completed my character arc. Goodbye.
I mean, to be fair, all the Jedi seem like they're kind of war criminals.
War criminals. That's what the word I was looking for. War crimes murderer. But
uh,
yeah,
in
that's
the
fair enough.
in the original series, uh, the 456 series, they talk about how the Jedi are like people think they're not real, like
Hmm.
they're like
They're like
uh
mythical.
yeah. And then you find out in the original trilogy that they had a giant like basically a base in what was the capital city of more or less that galaxy
Hmm.
uh, for like a long time, and that was like 20 years ago. uh, and I know that it's a galaxy, so like it's spread out, but and you can even look at maps of the galaxy, which I've done before. Uh, it doesn't seem like people would just have never heard of Jedi before, but I like that idea more.
Hmm.
When you have a giant, like, centralized, like, uh, what it'd be like the Templar kind of like castle
Yeah.
of like training and like missions and all this stuff. It really takes away that idea of like, well, nobody knows anything about these people. It's like, no, they're cops. They're like,
Yeah.
they're
Space
space
cops.
cops. Uh,
Magic space cops.
yeah, and when you think of them as magic space cops, it stops being like at all mythical. It's just fucking cops.
Yeah.
And then also at that point where they start talking about how like ambition is good now, I guess, like that seems I don't know, it seems bordering on like pro fascism in that world. Not like these people are bad people for making the series. I just mean like the way that those movies address who the Jedi are makes it seem like if we had like hoped that the Crusades would continue, like it just seems bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, so what's the deal with the yellow saber? I know that she throws a couple sabers under the sand and then a different saber comes out.
I don't know. I think that's another bit of uh I heard people in reviews calling that fan service, but
Okay.
I don't know what it's related to.
I mean,
I
I
think
think yellow sabers are cool, but that doesn't.
that's where it ends for me. I don't know like I don't know what that's supposed to be
Yeah, I don't.
referencing. Um Also, I totally glossed over the fact that Palpatine fucks. Like,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. Palpatine's been out there boning because he has grandkids, not only
Which
kids.
is, yeah, yeah, yep.
So
That's my only thought.
there's
Like,
that.
I just, a lot of people on Twitter have like done the math on this, and they're like,
Oh,
yeah, it would have had to have been when after he was all like weird faced. Like the timing checks out on that. So there's a good mental picture for you to have in your mind.
I mean, just generally, in the last movie, Luke was definitely dad age, and he was born after the Emperor had melted his face.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's still on the line for me. Like he could have had a kid that was also born like a year earlier when he was normal faced and just I guess sleeping with a bunch of people as the chancellor or whatever.
Yes, he does. I don't know. I don't feel like putting any sort of mental effort into figuring that shit out.
Do you
So
think he yells something like unlimited power or
do it.
what's his O face? Is it
I've seen a lot of people exploring that exact
oh
question, and it's not good. None of the answers are good.
I feel like his O face would just be the Bilbo Baggins freak out face from the Lord of the Rings.
Probably, yeah.
A real fizz face in there.
Yeah. Yeah, not good. Not something you want to think about. But yeah, they wrote that and it's how it is now. So we can't ever go back. Um and I could probably talk about this for a long time, but I those are the main points, I guess, that I can
Well,
think of.
once I see it, it probably won't be this week, but once I do see it, we'll rediscuss because
Yeah,
I
we should.
I feel like we can bring in context, uh, and even just in small things like how the Mandalorian has those fucking dumb lizard cows from the Ewok movies in it. Uh, we can probably find some weird shit in there once I've gotten a chance to see what they did,
Yeah.
what they've
And
done.
yeah, I would like to watch it again just to recap what I saw because
Yeah.
it's so fast. It goes so fast, and there's so many. Uh, it's I don't know. It's fast and it's kind of hard to follow at times because they're like two different things where it's like we have to go get this thing so we can get into this place so we can go to this thing and get to that place. Like there's two different capers that are of that nature, and it's too many.
Yeah, it sounds like a Legend of Zelda game to me.
Yeah, but yeah, those are my initial thoughts. Also, I thought they did a pretty okay job with the Carrie Fisher situation. I don't
Okay.
envy them having to deal with that. That really sucks.
I told this to people before too, but I think that from what I've heard of the beginning of that movie, it sort of starts off a little weird. Um, I think that in Star Wars fashion, as much as it might have been like not ideal for certain people as like their feelings towards it. I really think that having the thing start off with like a more formal like funeral and stuff like that actually would have both fit the universe really well, and it would have been like maybe more respectful in a way of
Yeah.
like we're going to remember this person and they did a lot for blank, as opposed to like making a weird cyber puppet out
Yeah.
of her like dialogue.
Yeah, like actually now that you mention it, I'm really pretty unimpressed by the like memorial kind of scene that
Yeah.
they did for her. It was pretty like anticlimactic compared to I don't know. I what I had pictured for it was something closer to like Padme's funeral, where it's like big deal.
I barely
But
remember that shit. I always flip that movie off at the part where Darth Vader goes, "No!"
I
Because that's
mean, fair enough.
that's the money shot of that movie. That's the
Yeah,
best.
that's pretty good. But like I thought they did an okay job. It was very obvious with all the lines that she had that she wasn't there because they just used a bunch of like deleted scenes and unused recordings from the previous movies. They were pretty there
Okay.
was lines that could have been for anything. Um so I thought they did okay. I googled it after because I was like, is she really in this? But it's just like her head pasted onto a body double basically the
Huh.
whole time, which
Very strange.
I didn't really catch on to that, so I guess it's fine. But yeah, I would have liked a cooler, more uh, bigger. Uh, I wish they made a bigger deal of like the funeral scene.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to check that out at some point. It sounds
Yeah,
like a real dumb movie.
yeah, it's definitely worth a couple hours of discussion, I'd say.
Uh, do you? So this would be more for next episode of this week's podcast for next week. Uh, do you have any interest in seeing The Witcher? Because I watched the first episode of that and I like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could watch that. I'm looking for stuff to watch, and I haven't ever played that game, so
So if the first episode is any indication, uh, they are they're kind of taking stuff from the book that does show up in the games, but in a way that explains it for you.
okay,
Um, like this almost seems like it could exist without the games ever existing, and it would be totally fine.
okay,
Uh,
yeah.
Also, I'm surprised how good Superman is doing as this character. Uh,
Is that the same guy?
yeah, that's Henry Cavill.
Wow. I saw a bunch of people complaining on Twitter that he was like too pretty and young for the role.
No, I could see people saying that because people are always going to say stupid stuff, but uh, if they go back and look at those Witcher games, The Witcher has always been kind of young and kind of pretty. Like that's he may as well be a fantasy elf. They give him some scars and a shitty story like to
He
make him more emo, but that's it.
Yeah, just as someone on the outside who knows nothing about anything, he
Yeah,
looks like kind of a fucked up Legolas.
totally.
Yeah.
And that's not inaccurate. Like I think that world is really interesting, and it is definitely like that style of fantasy that spends a lot of time kind of describing how fantasy and more realistic past would meld together.
Hmm.
Because they have things like I don't know, a little bit like how Game of Thrones tries to like pull in historical accuracy to a degree of like, hey, time sucked. Everything sucks before a certain year. And every time you go back another 100 years, it sucks more.
It's worse.
It kind of
Yeah.
has that air of like, yeah, things suck, and these people are living how they need to live, and it works out or it doesn't. Uh,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested. in watching that. I just started. I'm a couple episodes into season 2 of You.
Okay.
So if you have any interest in that, I have some thoughts. Um,
Let's
yeah,
how many episodes are you in and where can I see it?
it is on Netflix. Have you seen the first season of it?
No.
It's okay.
Should I not start there?
You definitely would probably need to see the first season, unless I can't remember if they do a recap. I think you would need to see the first
Okay.
season before starting,
And
because
is it
it,
just called the word like YOU?
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's okay. I'm watching the second season because I watched the first season, so that's about the only reason why.
Reasonably, so I'll try to watch at least an episode or two of You, and uh, Witcher episodes are about an hour. How much do you think you would be interested in trying to watch in a week?
Where are you right now?
I
How
watched
many?
the first episode. That's all.
Okay, I could probably do like at least one or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I might watch more than that, but that should be good for like a discussion on it.
Okay.
Okay. Now everybody knows the plan.
Oh, and we have to. Now you're all up to speed. Um, and I'll figure out a way to watch Cats because this is my life now. Um,
Yeah, watch Cats.
I don't know why, but ever since I watched Star Wars and then watched like 10 hours of reviews about Star Wars, I've just been like watching nothing but movie reviews, and so I've watched so many on Cats too, and those are really funny. Um,
I have
I'm
watched nothing about Cats. I am going in completely blind.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
I know what Cats is. Like, I have seen productions of Cats and they're terrible. Like, the whole thing is already terrible. So if it looks worse and it's people that I can like be embarrassed for on screen, that's just the perfect oh, give me
I,
those cats.
yeah, let's please. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I haven't seen anything but the trailer, and I'm already embarrassed for Rebel Wilson because I've seen some snippets of one of her scenes, and it's
uh,
not good.
that oh, Cats is shit. Cats is so bad.
I've never seen the actual production either, but just from anything that I generally know about it, seems like it should not be adapted into a film. But
Well, I told you about seeing that weird production of it in like a house, like a random house down by like the weird part of Seattle. Like
I mean, that sounds like a fitting
it
place.
was on my birthday and we just kind of ended up there.
Happy
It's
birthday.
yeah,
Here's
it
some cats.
check this shit out. Um oh, I'm very excited. I know it's going to be bad, so like if anything's good, that's great. The music's terrible. I don't give a shit what a Jellicle cat is, and it's always been shitty. Uh,
Yes, those are mine.
are you getting some laundry from your mother?
I am.
Excellent.
Indeed. Yes.
Well, uh, even though the last 20 minutes has been shop talk for shit we're not doing yet, it's about time to wrap it up so you can go do your family stuff.
Woo.
Um, but I mean, I think we discussed some important things. The time warp reference when I started this episode, I had a drink called the Time Warp while I was watching Rocky Horror. Um,
Uh-huh.
I I liked it. It was green. Uh,
Mm.
it was. I don't think it was very strong, but it had a good, strong flavor to it, which is something I like in a drink.
I
Uh,
like those too. The cocktail that I mentioned earlier, or the cocktail related topic was that my friend, her mom makes like homemade Baileys,
Oh, okay.
and she gave some to me for Christmas, and it is delicious, and it is potent, and it
Uh,
is good.
my dad used to make that stuff out of Everclear and uh oh, what was it? Anyway, a big component of it was Everclear.
That's
Uh,
all I really need to know about that. Yeah.
yeah, and it was effective. We also at the time, I don't think you could buy Everclear in the area we were living for whatever reason. So
Hmm.
it was shipped to us from my grandma in Illinois at like drug dealer amounts of Everclear, and then it would get turned into a different drink to make like uh, essentially like yeah, what you're describing, like making chocolatey drinks that are way too strong for their own good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into that some more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, if there's any way I can try it, I will try to, if you allow me, but I imagine that would be tough.
We'll see. I'll see what I can do. I don't know if it'll travel super well.
Yeah,
There's a
makes
lot of
sense.
eggs in it, apparently.
I'll see if there's any McClunkies or Bajabbers I can pick up in cats. Uh,
Oh yeah,
we always got to
that's
add
all
to
I
it.
ever want. Yeah, that's the only thing I want from cats is a good McClunky. Just just one good McClunky. That's all.
All right. Well, you enjoy your family time, and I'll enjoy this horrible movie.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.